Hi, everybody. I just wanted to start and make sure that all the groups are in here. Okay, sorry. I'm essentially just going to call roll. So I'm just going to make sure all the groups are in here. So do I have the community from Ottawa High School, Greenhouse from Normal Park, Pencil Tracker for Normal Park? Awesome. Fast Track by STEM, and then Cube from STEM. Cool, and there's not any extra. All right, awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Inventanooga 2023. We are so glad that you have chosen to be here with us this afternoon. And coming up, groups from Chattanooga will be presenting their solutions to a variety of global and community issues. There are 3 different pitching categories: designer, ideator, and executive, and I will be introducing all of the executive groups. So I'd first like to begin by thanking this year's sponsors. Firstly, we'd like to thank the Gary W. Rollins College of Business, and without them, we wouldn't be here, so thank you so much. And secondly, we'd like to thank Hamilton County Schools and STEM School Chattanooga. We would also like to thank the Global Center for Digital Innovation, and lastly, we would like to give a huge thank you to the Public Education Fund and Top Flight. So thank you to all our sponsors for making this event possible. And now, before you are introduced to our groups, allow me to introduce myself and our judges. My name is Brooklyn Lucas. I'm a junior at the STEM School of Chattanooga, and I will be your host for this event. Next, I would like to introduce our judges panel. So judges, if you don't mind standing as you're introduced. Our lead judge is Sarah Matson. Ms. Matson is a senior small business consultant at the Tennessee Small Business Development Center. She holds a bachelor's degree in health science from the university and a master's in business administration from UTC. Our second judge today is Heath Hansen, the owner of Chattanooga's local Naughty Cat Cafe. Previously, Hansen was a White House staffer, lobbyist, police negotiator, ship's captain, and a farmer. Our third judge is Allie Schreckner. Allie Schreckner has spent the last few years playing professional rugby all over the world. She has a master's in entrepreneurship and a passion for her community. She helps people start, scale, and expand their businesses. Our fourth and final judge is Lynn Chestnut. Lynn is the executive director of the Tennessee Small Business Development Center in Chattanooga, covering 9 counties in southern Tennessee. He is a graduate of the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, as well as an honors student of the Southeastern School of Banking at Vanderbilt University. Lynn has served as a board member of the United Way of Franklin County, Cleveland/Bradley Chamber of Commerce, Franklin County Chamber of Commerce, and South Central Home Builders Association. He has also served as an area community advocate for the American Cancer Society. So we do have some pretty cool judges here today. Thank you for being here, and we would also like to, again, thank all of you for taking your time out of your day to come and support these students. So before we begin, I'd like to give a small rundown. So students will step up here to present their pitches, and there will be a graded Q&A session. For my students, I just want to let you know that the mic is connected to the live stream in the back. So as you're talking, make sure that you pass the mic in between each person. So our first presentation, we're going to start off with Gabe Lowe and Joseph Dalton, here to pitch their business Communi, a communication device between teachers and nonverbal students, and they're from Ottawa High School.
Thank you.
Let me know when you're ready, and I'll start.
And so this is your clicker, and you're just going to go from next slide to next slide.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, judges. My name is Joseph Dalton. I'm from Ottawa High School, and my invention for Inventanooga is Communi. Communi is a watch band for nonverbal students and the teachers. This has helped to build their the bridge of communication from student to teacher. All right. The problem is there is no great communication for nonverbal students to their teachers. I have a strong thing that's happened to me with this. So my brother was diagnosed with autism at a young age. He was nonverbal for most of his younger life, and we struggled with communication with him. We had to learn sign language. He had to learn sign language. We had to use blocks, flashcards, all this stuff that just was not helpful for us to communicate properly. If we had this device, I'm going to show y'all, it would have helped us significantly to be able to communicate and teach him effectively what he needed to learn before school. So our primary research, we talked to Ooltewah High School's special education department. We did a questionnaire. On this questionnaire, it had different things like, what do y'all use in y'all's everyday studies with these students, and what could be improved in this classroom setting. After we got that feedback, we then went to a military engineer and showed them what we've discovered, and they helped us find a prototype. All right, so our secondary research. Our secondary research, we mostly just looked at what our comprehension was. One of the things that we found was LAMP. So right here is LAMP. It's a tool that's for education, so it's not actually for communication at all. So it's symbols that goes to words. So if I click play, it'll send off a small sound that says play. But the problem is there's no notification to that teacher. So if they're across the room, they're not going to be able to hear that because it's very soft. So that's one problem that we found, and that the special education department did tell us. All right, so our original idea. Our original idea is just a normal watch band. This watch band will have 4 different options to be able to communicate with. These could be, I need help, I need to go see so-and-so, different types of things you can do with it. You'll have customization options, such as characters, sports teams, different colors, boys and girls option. But this is our prototype right here. I'll show it to y'all. So it's going to be a watch face right here that will be able to do touchable options. And this right here is just our base for it to sit on. Thank you. All right, so our customer profile. We really don't have a customer exactly. It's going to be customer and consumer. The consumer is obviously the nonverbal students. These nonverbal students, without this, it would help them improve if we have this. This would be ages from 3 to 18. And the consumer, or customer. The customer is going to be the parents and school system. These are going to be able to help them in their regular day life, in the school setting, different things to be able to help them out. Alternatives. As I mentioned before, one of them is LAMP. LAMP, like I said, is not a communication application. So with this, you're still using that education device as communication, so it's not being used effectively. Another option is some soft toy blocks. These soft toy blocks will have different images on it, such as food, letters, numbers, different things that they can show. Distribution. So our distribution will be primarily talking to doctors, aides, teachers. This will be able to get our product to that parent who's going to be able to buy it. It will be sold online through places such as Amazon, different places. So our cost is going to be about $100 per unit. The unit is this right here, the watch face with all this stuff included. So for the unit, it's going to be $21.90 for the cost of that. It's going to be about $10 for 3D printing the watch itself with the band included. $25 for programming and the labor costs for this. All right.
Judges, if you'd like to start the Q&A. Do you have any questions?
So go back to your cost. So your price is $100, but
Yeah.
your cost per unit is probably.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you showed us the hardware. Is the software still to be developed, or is there a plan?
So yes, we are. I want to improve this. I want to keep on doing this because it's something that's dear to my heart, and I'd love to do this to be able to help for people like my brother's situation. So I want to do this. I'm not the greatest with technology yet. I'm learning. My plan is to over the year finish this and try to become an actual product.
Is the communication through the device a one-way communication, or is it if you are a student and you use it to message my watch as the teacher, I then communicate back to you through that, or am I
So yeah, so that's so right now, starting out, it'd be a Bluetooth device. So the teacher would get the notification and they would go to them. But obviously, I would love to be able to make it where it's two-way eventually. Like I said, we gotta work on that. All right. Thank y'all so much.
Awesome, and that was amazing. So next up we have Brooklyn Stone, Kinsey Eves, Jeremiah Chalk, and Zane Hardaway with their invention to provide a greenhouse tree protection device from Normal Park Magnet Upper School.
All right, here's this, and then this is your. Okay. Look, guys.
Have you ever walked through an apple orchard and picked an apple straight off the tree? Normal Park has a fruit orchard for the students, but it's struggling. Our mission is to protect the fruit trees so that schools can have the fruit trees to eat and study.
We want to help the young fruit trees from animals and weather. The trees get trampled, overwatered, and overall neglected. Our product will help protect the trees in Normal Park from the mission problems. We created an extendable greenhouse to solve this problem. The way our product helps is that it has walls and a roof to protect it from animals and weather, since that could affect the tree's growth. It will also have sprinklers so the trees can get water even when the roof is in use. Eventually, we want to expand to past Normal Park to other schools and gardens. Some competitors we have are Tree Garden, Home Depot, but they lack what our product has. Our product will be portable, so we can help other plants even when they move and grow. It's stronger than other greenhouse brands' materials and overall structure. If we have more time and funding, we will use a clear plastic tarp and a mesh roof. We chose to create a website for our product. In the future, we hope we can place our product in stores. Having both a website and stores provides us with the option to have both large businesses and smaller ones able to order the greenhouse. And for the revenue, we've chosen to increase our customer base at other schools and create a subscription on our website.
We're asking for $800 to start our business. This money will be evenly divided among production costs for a metal frame and glass. That should be enough to get us started. By investing in our product, you'd be helping make a difference in our environment. Thank you.
Could you go back to the original product slide? I think there were a lot of words that I was trying to read and couldn't quite finish all of it.
Wait, which one?
It was just, I'm trying to understand fully what the product is. You guys kind of went a little too quick, and there was a lot of words on the slide, so I couldn't quite read it for myself, so I'm trying to understand a little bit better. Yeah, the solution slide.
Here you go. Thank you.
And can you guys tell me in your own words again, like what the solution is?
So the trees at Normal Park, right out of school, they don't even look like trees because of how little they've grown. So we want to help them so they can actually have fruit trees to eat and use to study the trees. And so we chose to create a portable and extendable greenhouse in order to do that. You can move the walls, and you can also slide it around, so that way if a plant moves to the side, you can, move the greenhouse with it instead of having to take the whole thing out of the ground. And as the plant gets taller, the greenhouse also will get taller.
And then, what are some of the reasons they're not growing as fast?
Just the fact that, there's no protection, so they can get overwatered. When we have a big storm, they can get stepped on by both animals and kids. Since they're so small, I can't really tell that there's a plant there. And also, it's overall not the best care is being given to them, so they don't really have an opportunity to grow.
And can we see is this the prototype?
Yes.
Can I take it
Bring it up.
And what kind of materials will it be made out of to make it?
We plan to use metal frames and like a plastic tarp. So the wooden sticks would be the metal frames, and then the saran wrap would be the tarp. We'll also have a mesh roof, so that way rain can still get through, but not to the point where it could cause damage to the plant.
As the product expands, as the tree grows, how will you address the wind and extreme weather? Because the surface area seems to be quite broad, and the bigger it gets, even though it's made of metal, do you have some kind of way to shore it up?
Yeah, we will have like a hollow pole with enough hollow poles within it, so that way you can press a button and it extends taller, and then also be able to go to the side. We haven't fully figured out how to make that, but it can extend, so that way as the tree gets wider or taller, it will work, and they'll still be metal, so they'll be rooted in the ground, so it's much harder to lift it up.
I don't know at what point we give feedback or if it's just on here, but how you're talking to us right now is so much easier to understand, and it's a lot more conversational, and I can tell that you know what this product is and you know how to talk about it, so I appreciate this time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Jaden Tucker, Isaiah Woody, and Caden Petty with a business that helps keep track of your students' pencils from Normal Park at Magnet Upper School.
And then here's your clicker. You use these two buttons right here.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Can anyone raise their hand and tell me how many students have lost a pencil before? Miss Hardy.
How many have lost pencils?
Yes.
Every single one.
Correct. Well, students are losing pencils at a rapid rate. Without pencils, students wouldn't be able to do any work. About 82,000 trees are used to make 14 billion pencils per year, partly because students are losing pencils. Our business, Pencil Tracker, aims to bring pencils to students across America so that fewer pencils are going to waste and more are being used. Oh shoot. We made a pencil tracker that helps students be more responsible. This allows students to keep up with their pencil and teachers to have pencils for the next class. For our model, we made 3D print with a wrap around the pencil. Our mission is to help students come to class with a pencil and also help encourage students and teachers to keep track of their school supplies so they can do the work. Our product is different from others because it is more affordable to people, and also it has an on-and-off switch, unlike other companies such as Apple, etc. The solution is needed in the market because it is more affordable and it is also more accessible to people, and it has an easier use for people. You can easier use to people, and it only takes batteries. Our product features are different from other companies because it is for pencils, especially so we don't have many competitors. We will be earning 4.42 cents in revenue after paying our workers and the cost of the supplies. Our plan for the distribution is for someone to test the product, then we'll hopefully give our pencils to Walmart or somebody, or for schools. Our MVP is, oh shoot. We could design to improve our design in the future. We could design where it could basically connect to your phone, so then you are able to track your pencil down. We'll be asked to get $55.68 for a mail container, pack of pencils, electricity source, meter, and wires. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all.
How much were you selling it for again?
I think it was $10. I have no sure.
Okay. Is that for like an individual one, or is there like $10 each for?
Yes.
And is that your prototype?
Yes.
Here?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a wrap that has a tracking device built in, or on this?
Built in, I think.
You said it takes batteries?
Mm-hmm.
Where do the batteries go?
We haven't planned that yet.
Okay. I mean, I love the idea. I lose all of my things all the time. And I would hate to spend so much money on Apple, so I think bring about that difference as well.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Was the problem that you identified the loss of productivity because of time wasted searching for the pencil, or kind of like the waste in environmental
It's kind of like
sustainability because of pencil waste?
It's kind of like both. So.
Thank you.
Can I go quicker? The quicker? Oh, sorry. You can. And then for our next presentation, we have Lillian Pouncey, Deasia Price, and Leona Wills here to pitch their business Fast Track from STEM School.
Here you go. And then the up and down buttons. Which one is next? It should be down. Okay, thanks.
Hello, my name's Leona Wills. This is Deasia, and this is Lillian, and we are Fast Track. And today we're helping to solve a problem in low-income communities.
So here in Hamilton County, we have 251 bus routes spanning about 23,000 miles. And nationally, there are more engines, more personnel, and more individual units in the yellow bus industry than in the U.S. Railway system. So despite being one of the most prolific forms of transportation in the country, there is actually a lot of inefficiency currently being felt in this industry, mostly due to worker shortage and also due to them having some really old communication methods that is now being stressed by that worker shortage. So here in Hamilton County, we actually talked to the head of transportation, and as you can see here, there's a really long train of how information gets to parents and students when a bus is going to be delayed, or even when there are unforeseen events such as weather or traffic that can cause a bus to be delayed. And here in Hamilton County, we have 4 tiers of schools, which basically means that due to our increased school choice and the number of schools that we have in such a large area, that one bus might have 3 different routes for 3 different schools in the morning and in the afternoon, and it can run into snags, even just a kid throwing up on the bus, things that are completely unexpected at any point in time, from tier 1 to tier 3 in the morning or afternoon.
So when we were doing our initial research for this project, we needed to identify what problem we were actually trying to solve. Obviously, we cannot solve a bus shortage, so we decided that we wanted to focus on streamlining this line of communication from when they find out that there's an issue with the bus that's going to be late to any of the tiers, to actually getting that information to students and parents. Since in the Leander Independent District in Texas, they actually ended up having to change their start and end dates because the buses were late and kids were getting home at 8, 10 o'clock in the afternoon, and parents had no clue where their kids were.
For our problem statement, we wanted it to tie into our mission, which is to help Tennessee bus companies, communicate and have that bond between bus riders and parents to lessen the stress of getting on the bus and all that in the morning times.
So our initial idea was an app, Fast Track. We wanted to find a way that people were actually going to be able to see where their bus was, so we came up with Fast Track. So when doing further research on this, we did find other competitors on the market. First View and Here Comes the Bus. First View was actually used in Hamilton County for a brief amount of time. They ended up not really discontinuing it, but it's not really used anymore. It's available on the App Store, but it suffers from it's very buggy. The location of the bus is just inaccurate, and there were a lot of privacy issues since I personally went to test this app and it never actually asked me to confirm if I was a parent or student of Hamilton County. Here Comes the Bus also suffers from similar privacy issues, buggy, laggy, and they charge per bus in a fleet for their system.
So this was our initial prototype. We originally just really wanted to build on some of the features that our competitors were missing, and also all 3 of us are bus riders, so we personally feel that we have more of an understanding of what bus riders and their parents are going to want. So our first order of business was basically correcting some of the things that did not work with our competitors. And basically the way that Fast Track works is it tracks by stop instead of continuously tracking through GPS. So our buses here in Hamilton County are already tracked through GPS, but things that cause our competitors to fail were that when a bus, due to weather, due to traffic, due to a train, had to go a different way than they usually would, the app would completely break and it wouldn't work anymore. So by using a system almost similar to Life 360, where it only pushes notifications or notifies our algorithms when you get to a stop earlier in your route, we're able to avoid some of those setbacks. We also will link to Clever, Power School, or Google to make sure that the people using our app are actually a part of the county, and we don't have any people that are viewing information about routes that shouldn't be. And also, Fast Track will notify you when the assigned number of your bus is different, even if it's remarked to be like the bus that you usually have, because we have all had experiences where the sides of the bus have the regular number, but the back is kind of funky, and you're like, okay, do I want to get on because do I know this person? And also just to be reliable. So those were our main tenets when we were designing Fast Track.
will love this idea. 'Cause I get all these emails from the school like, your bus is late, we've lost a child, all these things. I'm like, oh, Lord.
The head of transportation actually told us a story. It was supposed to be anonymous, but basically, he has the assignment of calling a principal, even though this bus might not even run until like 8 o'clock. If he knows that it's going to be late at 5 o'clock, he has to call that person at 5 o'clock. And if their school doesn't start until 9, why would they be awake? So a lot of people who are in the train of information are also not happy about the way the system works, not just the people at the very end of it. So,
Great research.
thank you.
Yeah, that's something that I actually noted. This isn't really a question, but the fact that you did such like intense research from all of the stakeholders involved in this, like really shows like your commitment to kind of finding what the actual problem is and how then we can address it. So I appreciated that.
And also understanding your competitors, their challenges and weaknesses. I would not want my child on a bus that anybody can track. Now that seems like a huge issue. So is where are you when it comes to the prototype and kind of where you are in the process?
So we basically understand like the business model that we want, which is actually the next slide. So basically, we used the prices and also just kind of the general business model that Pearson uses with the state of Tennessee, where to keep it completely free for our users, because ultimately the people that are really affected by this are people that don't have alternative forms of transportation, and a lot of times that's like people in low-income families, either because they don't have another car or even because both cars are used for 2 jobs, or et cetera, et cetera. So we want the county essentially to pay a certain amount per year for Fast Track to be offered to students, and then students can just download the app, they put in a code, and they're linked with their bus. They just register their bus. Also, a thing that Fast Track does that other apps for some reason don't do is you can have more than one bus. So some existing apps in our field, they only let you track one kid because they're only letting you track one bus. So it's like, okay, if I have one kid that goes to CCA and I have one kid that goes to East Ridge, what am I gonna do? So yeah, you just register and everything is free other than for the county, and they get to pay the big bucks because they have the money. So yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
Awesome. And then for our last but not least presentation, we have Eliana Berger, Taylor Boyd, Aiden Farnsworth, and Amos Stamper with the from STEM School. Sorry.
Where's our thing? I got it. Where? Amos. We need our slides. Sorry. Sorry, just getting situated. Okay.
Didn't expect to migrate.
Hi, my name is Amos Stamper, and this is Aiden Farnsworth, Taylor Boyd, and Eliana Berger, and this is The Cube. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 forced millions of Americans into quarantine in 2020. All the people used to going into the office every day or interacting with others were suddenly stripped from that privilege. So, while the pandemic has subsided and quarantine is now a minimal issue, as of March 2023, 35% of Americans are still working remotely at home. Some of these Americans have found ways to separate their work and home lives, but many more still struggle with the balance. So after interviewing some community partners that have struggled with working at home, we found that what distracts them the most are things like their children, neighbors, or household chores, or just anything going on outside through their windows.
Our mission statement is to empower these at-home workers to separate their home and work life and assist them in kind of creating that boundary that some people just can't seem to create.
And that led us to creating the Cube, the collapsible unit-based environment. It is 2 walls attached by hinges in the back, and it can be pushed up into any corner in any home, and then pulled out to create a makeshift cubicle. It features frosted glass windows to allow light in while eliminating distractions, a fold-out desk as a workspace, some swivel drawers for storage for your office supplies, and a door cutout for easy access in and out of the office with a curtain rod for an optional curtain for more privacy. So when your workday is done, the office can literally be closed and stay that way.
Due to the fact that at-home working is a fairly new issue, there aren't many alternatives to our product. The only alternatives are co-working spaces such as the Society of Work in Chattanooga, Tennessee, or making your own at-home office, which is often unrealistic or unreliable. Co-working spaces, on the other hand, also require a rent cost and a commute. Our product, on the other hand, can just be pulled out whenever you're ready to start your workday for a distraction-free work time, and then pushed back in, and you can use that space that it was using up whenever you're done. To get our product out there, we're creating a landing page. Our landing page is going to be advertised through Google Ads and social media ads, and it will give customers features of our product as well as let them sign up for updates and leave feedback.
To distribute our product, we will build a website in which customers can purchase our product as a DIY kit where they can build in their own home. We will also sell to hardware stores such as Home Depot, Lowe's, or Menards. And we will sell to IKEA, which will also sell our product as a DIY kit, much like we do from our own website.
So as mentioned before, we plan to host multiple ad campaigns on both Google and LinkedIn. We're looking at about $1,000 each for those. On top of that, we plan to generate about 36 units in the first month for about $18,000 and store them at a local 3PL like Kenco for about $25 a pallet. This is looking like about $25,000 for the first startup and month of operation for this company.
To increase our revenue, we will expand our target demographic, expanding it to include students who live in small apartments or dorms who need a place to study but don't really have the space. We will create new products tailored specifically to those students or other demographics, as well as sell to larger companies who can sell our product in bulk.
Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
What a creative idea. Like, I say I can work from home all the time because I'll just take a nap or I'll sleep on the couch or something like that. So I really appreciate this. I think this is pretty innovative. I do have a question. So you said that it folds up for like easy storage. Like, how do you fold it up with the shelves and the desk?
So that's the desk part, and the desk part actually just folds out, and it can fold back flat against the wall. And the drawers also go back, and then this would be the front part. So this would be up against the 2 walls of your house, and only these 2 parts would be taking up room. And you could use these as like bookshelves or something, and so you could still use that space, but the majority of the space that would be taken up by a home office would be free when you just push it up against the wall.
Since it's like a home office, you can kind of decorate it how you want. So like she said, you could totally make it like a bookshelf, like literally anything you want, just like a shelf. You could put like a painting there, just really anything you want.
So if that's the side, I can fold it up and I can just have that like
Yes.
by the
Yes.
wall.
So, like-
and then if I needed to turn it around, then it's like my cubicle.
Mhm.
Is
So
that
like,
how it works?
Yeah, it's a bit
it
hard
would
to
be against
envision.
the wall like that, kind of,
Yeah.
and then you could just basically pull it out,
Oh.
and then you have your door cut out on this side.
So what's the composition of this? I mean, is it wood? Is it, you may have said that. And then how heavy, how easy is this for someone based on size to to navigate?
So the materials we were looking at are mostly wood. We're looking at wood and also metal for the frame and everything. Wood is how we kind of keep it kind of on that low price. Our unit price is about 500, like 300 to 500, depending on market price. So that wood is kind of how we keep it that way. It can be, I mean, it varies. I mean, this can fit into like multiple spaces, and there's different sizes as well. And so it kind of varies on what size you get or what size you need it to fit into, on how much it weighs and how much like the accessibility of someone to be able to build it.
So you did just say that comes in different sizes?
Yes.
Okay.
And like you said, we're going to have ordering options for like DIY kits on our website. And so on our website, you could customize like the size, and you could customize things like color, or like if you didn't want drawers, you could, take out the drawers. The drawers are there just for, so you don't have to haul your office supplies back and forth. You can just have everything there when you pull out the office and want to start your workday.
Do you feel like there's an element of this that is proprietary, like something that you could patent and then just sell to IKEA? Because I feel like this is, I don't know, that's at the risk of sounding like an episode of Shark Tank. The path of least resistance is here, is to take this very clever thing and have somebody that's already doing it do it for you or whatever. So do you feel like there is something so unique about this style or this device that you could say this is a new, and you could trademark it and say this is proprietary?
Well, it is new. It is brand new. Like our competitors are basically non-existent. The only competitors are people who, like I said, co-working spaces, but that you have to go to a completely different building and you're renting a space to work in. So you're not even working at your house. And then a lot of people don't even have room for an at-home office. So they just can't work from home basically, or they're working in a desk in their room, which is very distracting for a lot of people. Like a lot of people get distracted by things outside of their windows. So we would have frosted glass so you can still get that natural light, but you're not distracted from all that stuff. So to sell our thing to like IKEA, like we said, we wouldn't have any alternatives because this is the only thing out there like this. And that's mainly because it's a new problem. This hasn't been a problem in the past like 10 years because not that many people work from home.
Well done, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Awesome, and that concludes all of our presentations. So if we could get one more round of applause for all of our groups. And then a round of applause for our amazing judges. So we are like 15 minutes ahead of schedule since you guys are so awesome. So I think what's going to happen is, judges, if you guys would like to give some ungraded feedback and questions to the group so you can understand a little bit more about the project, this is going to be informal and it won't contribute to any grading. But then at 2:10, all of my groups, you're going to head back to the Tennessee room where you just had the big introduction. And then the judges, you guys are going to head to Chattanooga room A, which is just this room. Cool. Thank you, guys.